Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Hopefully, it's one enslaved soul at a time, too, because we defend God, family, country in that order. We also defend people who cannot defend themselves or they're overwhelmed by the system. We step in. This is one of those broadcasts. I'm going to be defending a multi-millionaire. Oh, yeah. You say, why do they need defense? You're going to see this is so tragic what's going on. And specifically, what we're going to talk about is my advice to Caitlyn Clark, my advice to America, because her situation is symbolic of what's happening across this nation. I'm being very serious. She is simply an outgrowth of the sickness of soul that exists right now in America. And if we don't get a handle on this, we're going to further divide ourselves, and this place will become like South Africa, a place that nobody wants to live in. Just ask Brendy Wells, wife of John B. Wells, right? We've had Brendy on our show a few times. I've been on Caravan to Midnight quite a few times, and Brendy has explicitly described life in South Africa now. This is what we're headed towards, ladies and gentlemen. This is tragic. I don't want this in our beautiful nation. We have so many great attributes. The people coming here for the World Cup are raving about it. We were in Dallas for a different reason recently, and holding the World Cup there, and we ran into some World Cup people. I had some discussions in the hotel gym where I was working out. I was talking to this couple, and they were from Europe, and they had nothing but praise. Americans are so nice. They're so helpful. You ask for something is, they take the time to talk to you. I said, yeah. And they say, we don't always get that where we're from. We hear so many good things. And yet we give it away on pettiness, like what I'm going to talk about here. And this is pure pettiness. And it needs to be called out for what it is so we can shame it, rehabilitate it, and then move on successfully. We are brought to you by 7702. You're sitting on a little bit of money. I've told you why you don't want to go into the bank with all of it. Okay. You do need to protect some of it with gold and silver. Absolutely agree with that. Stock market, I wouldn't touch the stock market today with a 10-foot pole. That's just Dave Hodges bias. You don't have to follow my advice. I'm not a broker, but I wouldn't touch the market right now at all for various reasons. But what I would do is I trust the people at 7702 to turn that money into unbelievable wealth that's tax-free because of IRS code 7702. Sound too good to be true? It is not. It's a lengthy process. I'm not going to lie to you. 30 days minimum, 90 days maximum, and you'll fall somewhere in between, and you have to be of interest to them. In other words, they'll tell you this isn't good for you, but think about doing this. They're very, very nice. They won't waste your time, and you'll get quick answers. And then you go through a process. They educate you, they inform you. Fully informed consent, no nonsense. Joe Lombardi's group at Iron Hawk has never had a better Business Bureau complaint. They have never lost a client, a dime of clients' money, ever. So here's what you do go to dhawk.com, dhawk.com, put in your contact information, and they'll be in touch with you, and you could be on your way. And this is the way the wealthy have made money secretly forever. Now, Joe has made it public. Okay, Caitlyn Clark. I think I know a little bit what I'm talking about. A lot of you followed me, longtime high school, head college basketball coach. I did some NBA scouting. I know the game really well. Have a playing history too. I know the game. And I can tell you this, I've seen some great, great players that are women. Ann Drysdale. Oh, was she ever good? Cheryl Miller. Awesome. Awesome. Now, we have a generational talent in Caitlin Clark, and she's just typical conservative, but she can't help. She was born white. She was raised Catholic family, went to Catholic high school. Okay. She has pretty traditional values. She's extremely giving and generous of her time for a superstar. She's the best women's player I've ever seen, with the two possible notable exceptions. She's taken the league from failure, where the NBA had to put $50 million in a year just to keep this league afloat because it had no appeal. Now they play before many of them sellout crowds. Caitlin Clark is everywhere. Her merchandise sales, her and Sophie Cunningham, her teammate, they're like birds of a feather. 71% of all merchandise sales in the WNBA goes to those two, most of them to Caitlyn. And yet, what does she get for her stardom? Her advocating for her fellow competitors. Yeah, we all need to have charter flights. This is ridiculous. We fly coach and what it is. No pro sports league does this. She got that changed for everybody, not for her, just her team, for everybody. Is she appreciated? No. She came out of college as the most celebrated woman player ever. I think Cheryl Miller, if she were playing today, she'd have got the same thing. I think Ann Drysdale, same thing. But here she is, extremely celebrated. The talent is off the charts, and she's electric. She electrifies the crowd. She lifts the play of her teammates, and she's unselfish, extremely unselfish. Leads the league in assists. Well, she's rookie of the year, set, I don't know, 50 something records, and she got left off the Olympic team. Pure prejudice. Certainly wasn't made, that decision was not based on anything to do with basketball. They just had the 30th anniversary poster for the WNBA. She's the most popular player in the history of the league, and she's only in her third year. And what they do? They left her off the poster. And then they made up a lie and said, her face can't appear anywhere that's not according to one of her sponsors. That's a lie. That's a lie. League promotional materials are always exempt from royalty agreements. I've been around sports long enough to know how that works. The NIL league can use you to promote. It's a competitor. If they just said Nike brings you this poster, that's a different game. That's not what the poster was. It was the league issued poster, and they purposely left her off. And then her coach is buying into the wokedom because she's white, conservative, Catholic, so Christian, right? Her coach has made this generational talent the third option in the offense. She's taken the ball out of her hands, despite the fact that she was leading the league in assists. And then there was the thug play that might have ended her career for this year. Well, that's right. Good old Lissa jumping on her, punch in the throat, knee to the groin, and the referee looking right at, I see nothing. Just like Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes, I see nothing. Yeah, I see nothing. And she is the victim of abuse at every turn. I thought about playing a reel of all the abusive hits she's taken. And she doesn't bring it on. She's just great at what she did. And she didn't have a chance to alienate anybody because they treated her this way in the preseason of her rookie year. The WNBA is the 180-degree but equivalent opposite of Jim Crow. It's bias, it's prejudice, it's violent in its enforcement. They have injured her now twice. This one might be season-ending injury. And the league, oh yeah, the public is really upset, so we'll have to override the referees that didn't even call a foul, and we'll have to make it a flagrant foul now, suspend her for one game. She should have been suspended for 5 games. It was a direct assault. It wasn't basketball and tempers flare. It was a direct assault that was unprovoked. Caitlyn Clark was in a vulnerable position. She wasn't antagonizing anybody. This is what's wrong with our society. If someone doesn't fit into our individual demographics, rather than appreciating the strength of other cultures, other races, other nationalities, other belief systems, there's strengths in all of these that we can take from people and honor them. But instead, we have to live out of a vision of hate. They're not like me, so I hate them, and I get to abuse them. And the league, that league, the WNBA, is dominated by that hate. Oh, do you think Dave Hodges is alone in this? Well, let's see. Charles Barkley, one of the greatest power forwards to ever play the game, is speaking out on this. Stephen A. Smith, who's a well-respected broadcaster at ESPN, the lead guy in opinions of sports, he's called it out repeatedly. Repeatedly. Outkick is all over this. Michael Jordan has spoken out about this. LeBron James has spoken out about this. Oh, wait a minute. They're not even from the same background as Caitlyn, but they're fair enough and human enough and kind enough as people that they can see the crap for what it is. And it is crap. There's probably stronger words that fit. This is a family show. I'm sick of it. And I don't think boycotts work, but there is now an informal boycott going on with Caitlyn being out. People aren't going to the games that she was supposed to play in. That is just dessert for a league that supports this. Her own coach has joined the woke movement to minimize Caitlyn's greatness. I see it. I watched a few games and I'm just saying, why? Why the dumbest coach on earth, or she has an agenda? She has an agenda. And you think I'm alone in seeing this? Aforementioned people, you've already talked about this. If you don't know how to coach a generational talent, resign, let someone who knows how to do it do it. But see, I think Stephanie White, the coach, knows how to do this. The problem is she's under pressure not to do this from their front office. And their whole front office, the whole meme is we're woke. And if you're not, we want to make you broke. I'm Dave Hodges. I've had enough of this nonsense. And you should too. You should too. Hey, look, take your girls who need good role models, take them to a high school game, take them to a college game. There's still some decency in those two sports, but I can find very little other than athletic talent, which there is a lot of for the women, but I can find nothing of value in supporting this league with its treatment of Caitlyn Clark. And by the way, she's not the first, but she's the most prominent because she's the most visible. This league has a history of this kind of abuse, and the league is abusive. And if I was raising little girls right now, I wouldn't let them watch it. I'd exercise my parental authority and say, no, honey, there's other people we need to watch instead because this league stands for things that we don't believe in as a family. And I think that is true for most families across the country. Choose wisely. I'm Dave Hodges. This is The Common Sense Show.